My name's Roger Detter. I graduated from ASU in 1969. I grew up in a small town in south central Kansas. A high school that had about 400 students. I had always wanted to be a professional baseball player. About my junior year in high school, I became aware of Arizona State, and my high school was small enough that we didn't even have high school baseball. I played American Legion baseball in the summers, but didn't have a high school baseball team. I was fairly good at basketball as well, and so I got the opportunity to be recruited and came to Arizona State actually on a basketball scholarship. But when I came out on my recruiting trip, I met both Ned Wolk, who was the basketball coach, obviously, and Bobby Winkles, who was the baseball coach. And Coach Winkles indicated that I would have the ability to try out for the baseball team, but there were no guarantees on whether I would be on the team. And so when I flew back to Kansas after my recruiting visit to Arizona State, I told my mom and dad when I got off the plane, that's where I'm going to school. I would not have come to Arizona State if it hadn't been for my desire to play professional baseball. I would have probably, if I would have gone just to play basketball, I probably would have gone to Kansas University. They had all the history and everything at Allen Fieldhouse, and they had offered me a scholarship from the time I was a sophomore in high school, and I've probably gone there. But I absolutely loved baseball the most, wanted to see if I could play against the best and potentially become a professional baseball player. Bobby Winkles had such an impact and such an influence in my life. I wouldn't have had near the success that I ended up having, both in playing professional baseball and then in my professional career, if it hadn't been for Bobby Winkles. I was fortunate enough during my playing career at ASU that I averaged in double figures for my entire career, and still to this day hold the Arizona State record for consecutive free throws. So here we are 55 years later, and I still hold that record. Now, my junior year, because we didn't have high school baseball in Kansas in my high school, I had participated in track and field. One of the events that I had participated in was javelin. I had won the state championship in javelin, so my junior year at ASU, Baldy Castillo, who was the track coach, found out that I had won the state championship in javelin, and I was not a world-class javelin thrower by any means, but for dual or triangular meets, he really only had one javelin thrower, so he asked Coach Winkles if, for home meets only, if I would be allowed to throw the javelin. So Coach Winkles said, absolutely, that would be no problem. So my typical Saturday during that year was we'd play an afternoon baseball doubleheader on Saturday. I would go get a bite to eat, change clothes, and go over to the track and throw the javelin at the meet that night. I scored a few points in dual and triangular meets. So that's how I got my third sport, being a javelin thrower on the track team. 1969 was a magical year. There was nothing as meaningful in my career at Arizona State as being captain and being a member, being with my teammates in Omaha, winning the national championship. What I accomplished at Arizona State from the standpoint of performance, being captain of two different teams, my career numbers in both basketball and then in baseball, being on two national championship teams. There are only 4 players in ASU history who were able to play on 2 national championship teams, making the all-tournament team at the College World Series, setting a stolen base record at the College World Series that lasted for 18 years. Those are all special memories, and for that to be recognized and be inducted into the Arizona State Sports Hall of Fame is something that will live with me forever, and being one of the greats in Arizona State history is just so very special.